Hey, all right, welcome back to Raff's Brain, a show about things that are interesting to me. I'm your host, Rob Raffety, and it's time for another conversation with the one and only Grauben Lara for Riffin with Raff. Yes, this is the stream of content on the Raff's Brain show where I get to chat with people I admire, respect, and Grauben is definitely in that category. How you doing, Grauben?
Good. I mean, I like being on these because I really just want to beat your niece. I don't know if I'm like matching her appearance number yet or not.
I think I have to tell you what. I think this is your fourth appearance, I believe. I think you have now matched my niece.
Perfect.
Mallory, I don't know if you're listening to the show, but you know someone's catching up. The bottom line is Grauben and I are having a great time, and the reason why we have these opportunities to record is because we continue to meet and push boundaries on collaboration for video projects. The first one started back in the late winter. Reason vertical video. You won that contest. I gave you some ideas, but you really produced it on your own. And then the second one was this fee emergent. No, I'm sorry. What's the Economic Marvels contest that we're currently pins and needles waiting to hear back from. But beyond that, you've enjoyed this process a lot, I guess. And you reached out and said, maybe we should be doing more of these. Would you like to help me? And I'm like, heck yeah, let's find a way to make it work. So we've been sitting here talking a lot about how to get a good process together for content creation.
Yeah.
And I guess we've landed on trying to get a couple videos out and maybe learn as we go. Don't have perfection as the goal. We're both willing to just get moving and create stuff. So I guess we have a couple concepts we're going to come out of the gate with. Are we allowed to reveal to my tens of listeners? They're on.
Oh, man, I don't want them to steal our ideas. No, I think it's fine. I mean, I think because what you mentioned, I'm not worried about these videos being perfect, but I am worried about creating a solid system in place so that way we can continue to do this in the future. So we do have a couple of ideas that we have in mind. If you want to share them, Rob.
Yes. Well, first of all, Grauben came back to me and he created a page on this tool called Monday, which I'd never heard of before. But it's like a project management software.
Yeah.
And we have a free page. We're working through that now. So thanks to the Monday people. I'll tag you when I post about this. We appreciate you keeping us organized. You did some work, which is you poked in the ChatGPT and said, hey, I want to create a YouTube video series and give me some ideas for concepts that might help communicate market ideas, market principles, and stories. Is that kind of how you went?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know how I would have done this 5 years ago because I got so many ideas from ChatGPT and it's really hard to kind of just come up with things off the top of your head.
Yeah.
But I did go on ChatGPT. I kind of gave it a basis of what we are trying to do or what kind of videos we're trying to make.
Yeah.
Similar to the Kleenex one that we did last month. And so I gave it some concepts, some principles, and I asked it for some ideas. Some were good, some weren't so good. But the ones that I was either excited about or think were workable or thought were workable, I threw onto this board. So we have a list of about 24 video ideas right now.
That's fantastic. And so we kicked it around a little bit this afternoon, and we've honed in on 4 as a starter pack. The thinking is that at some point, Fee's going to get back to us. And presumably there'll be a next stage of this contest. We are pretty confident that whether or not we win, we'll be in the mix. There's a public voting component to it. So when that comes out, we're going to promote the heck out of it and try to promote traffic to the channel such that whenever the winner is announced, even if we're not the winner, we'll just get referenced. And Fee would be incentivized, presumably, to post our link to your homepage. And we are branding this as Grauben Lara, at Grauben Lara. I'll drop the link in the show notes. There's no content up there yet that's visible. That might change in the next few days, but stay tuned. For now, if you just want to go there and subscribe to the page, you'll be a first mover. Get on the ground early.
It's interesting. I mean, I thought about giving the channel an actual name, but for longevity of this channel, and let's say by next year we want to talk about something else that's relevant, I don't think it made too much sense to kind of just stick to one cool branded name. I'm not sure. Maybe that's the right approach, maybe it's the wrong approach.
I think you have a cool name we can brand. So we're going to go with that. Here's the other thing I'll say. I'm just planting some seeds here because I think this is we're going to start to create a pretty cool little library of content, and we'll see where it goes. After so many months, we'll have a critical mass. We'll get to see what we're learning and where we're going and how it evolves. That's fun and useful. I can imagine a world in which this becomes one stream of content on the Grauben Lara YouTube channel, and the other streams start to get populated with things that are just other interests that you have. So you become known for not only this, compelling market economics communicator, but also other things that you're interested in and curious about. And then people really start to buy into Grauben Lara as a person and as a trustworthy voice, not just on, certain specific topics, but as a personality. That's where it gets interesting to me. So maybe that's where I'm taking it. Maybe that's not where you're thinking. Baby steps, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and it's just funny because the more you talk about it, the more I cringe on the inside at the idea of being a personality. But I do think it's the way I can add value to the people that I've been working with, or the people that I want to impact in the world. But I mean, just the idea of me being a figure or a brand, it makes me cringe on the inside.
Yeah, we're not going to be inauthentic about this. I don't want you to cringe. I understand. And actually, again, I gave Grauben the Day Trading Attention book from Gary Vaynerchuk, who is, to my mind, a very prolific and competent communicator and really knows his stuff on the social media space. I follow his advice, and I just think it's been a game changer for me. 2.5 years ago, I started posting aggressively on LinkedIn because he suggested this is a very underpriced platform. You're going to get a ton of traction, and I've made a lot of contacts and raised my visibility. I've only been posting work-related content there. I've contemplated pivoting and just started posting other things about other interests that I have. Posting Raff's Brain podcast on there, for instance. Right now, I don't promote Raff's Brain podcast very much. If you're listening, it's probably because you know me or you were on the show previously. Or you know one of my guests and they were sharing it with their friends and family. But I'm just starting to cut my teeth in it and just get going. Back to the project. So I didn't mean to deter us. I just want to say we're on the Monday platform. We have many that you sourced. The 4 concepts we're going to be exploring over the next few weeks are on the Concorde, the supersonic jet that disappeared, but that supersonic's making a comeback. That's a compelling, fun story. AT&T and monopolies. I was alive when this happened. I was a young boy, but I remember, there used to be a government monopoly on telephones. It's hard to even believe or imagine. If you tell a kid today, everyone had the same telephone in their house. It was a black, maybe they started to have some different colors or something, but it all looked the same. It functioned the same. That all got wiped out, and really created the opportunity for innovation that we now have, just game-changing transformations in that technology. So that's pretty cool. The benefit of destroying a monopoly. FedEx and how markets create modern global something. I can't read that. Shipping systems. So that'll be fun. And then John Deere and private property. Something to have to do with the innovation of John Deere's tractor, and maybe there was something there where there was intellectual property or something. I'll have to look into it. But those are going to be fun stories. They're existing brands. So when we promote them, we can tag those entities and say, hey, we wrote a fun story about your organization. That could be a way to help promote the channel a little bit. But the idea is if we can have some of this done right around the time or before the fee project is really rolled out, that we'll have an ability to pivot some of those audience members from fees contest to the channel. So that's the strategy here, folks. Love to hear what you think. Drop a comment, shoot me an email if you have any other suggestions or ideas. Process-wise, this is where Grauben takes over. I like this about you. You're very much into dividing this up into it's a big task. Oh, let's make a video. But you kind of mapped out the sub-steps here. So let's walk through that here a little bit for us.
I mean, I don't think I'm good at it, but I think it's an important step that I want to have established, so that way we have a plan going forward. So that way it is something that we think is doable going forward.
What are the different stages of any video? If you dig into one of them, for instance, the Concorde, there are 9 steps that you've identified. Title, so that's the title of the video. That's going to be fluid and evolve, but ultimately you want to be provocative and try to use maybe a question or some tool or strategy that helps get people to click on it. So the title probably comes almost more towards the end of a project.
I mean, I think it's a good idea to have a thought as far as how are we going to frame this whole thing.
Yeah.
For the Concorde, for example. I mean, we were just talking about how the government potentially, like, you know, banned it on supersonic flight, commercial flight at some point. Maybe they're bringing it back. So maybe the title is like, the government banned this, you know, what happened to it? I don't know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it helps. I think it helps us like frame how we're going to discuss the video.
Yeah.
And it's also a way to think about, okay, why are people going to watch this video?
Yep, totally. Thumbnail concept. Thumbnails are so important in YouTube. And this is where there's a boundary between like sensational freeze frame goofy face versus like credible but still like emotionally striking images. We'll figure that out, I guess, as we go. But I think, do you have a thumbnail for the one we sent to Fee?
I have a thumbnail. It's so that was the thing when we made the Kleenex video where we did the title and thumbnail last. And as I was coming up with different titles and thumbnails, I kept thinking to myself, I feel like I'm lying to the audience.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't want to feel that way. I wanted them to get excited about the video, but I didn't want them to like jump in and be like, this guy is not talking about like what he mentioned in the title. Because I think one of the first titles I had was like, was the Kleenex used as a bomb? Because it is tied back to like the video is about like Kleenex in World War, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, how do I make Kleenex exciting?
Yeah.
Maybe I can like allude to the fact that it was used in war, and maybe in the thumbnail it'll be like me with a box of Kleenex and me with like a nuclear bomb in the other hand or something. But then that felt like a lie, you know?
And it might even like feel like a bit of a bait and switch for your audience member.
Exactly.
That's what you want to avoid.
Right.
Because if someone clicks on this and then it's not really on point, you lose credibility and maybe they don't come back.
Exactly. So I think what I ended up going with for that, the title itself was something along the lines of, this World War I innovation created the global Kleenex empire, which is, to me, does not feel like a lie at all.
That's
right?
correct.
It's
That's
like,
cool.
That's what we're going to talk about.
It's a sexy title. I like it.
And then the thumbnail was just me like weirdly pointing to a Kleenex box, and then I think I have the words. Is this a product of war or something like that? I don't remember.
Very cool. All right. Well, we're going to see how that works. Thumbnail, that's step 2 that we have on this list. Hook and opening. We actually kind of come up with that today because there was one tab there for research and script. And that's where I'm going to really dive in. If we say comparative advantage or division of labor, whatever economic concepts you want to talk about here, that's where my strength comes in. I can do some research and script writing to help get a draft for any particular product, and then Grauben's the guy who's the charismatic on-screen personality, and we kind of work well like that. Peanut butter and jelly.
There you go.
But one thing we did add was this hook, this idea of like, man, the first 3 to 5 seconds of any video are essential. So what are the first words out of your mouth, or what's the first image that person sees? We're going to like describe that here in the Monday table. So as I said, research and script, that's a big component of it. Assets gathered, again, if there are images or video products that we want playing in the background. This is all for educational purposes. So we have, I think, although it's still unclear to me exactly what the fair use doctrine permits,
Yeah.
We're going to push boundaries on it. And, at a certain point, YouTube might flag things. We have to be careful about copyright. We have to respect those boundaries.
Luckily, I mean, our goal isn't to like make money with
Right.
this, so it's not like, I mean, we can easily go and change these things, you know?
That's right. Shooting. This is where you take over, like shooting the content, editing, and then hitting the publish button. One thing we should probably add in here too is that, since we're here, I'm going to go into Airtable and do it. It's not Airtable. Sorry, Monday. Sorry, it's not Airtable. It's better than Airtable. It's called Monday. Is marketing and promotion.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm typing slowly there. Marketing and promotion. And the reason I add that in is because even as the concept's coming together, we can think about little ideas for how we want to push it out. So after it's published, I will say, like, for instance, on this Concord one, I know for a fact there are some interesting companies doing cool work in sonic air travel. And one of my friends works for that, or used to work for that company. Mm-hmm. So that's a cool thing, and maybe let them see it, and they might want to share it out on their social handles or something when we promote it. Okay, so I like the direction we're taking here, man. What's our next step coming out of this meeting? What do you think? Me get to work, basically. Right?
Rob gets to work. And then, yeah, I mean, hopefully, like I mentioned to you, so hopefully we have this the fee contest, and like they post about the films or the videos that we made, so that way the very next week we can post another one. So I'd love to have some sort of like title like script kind of like set up.
Yeah.
So that way sometime this weekend, I can kind of go in and start making that film or start that video.
Yeah, and then so in my vision of this, Fee posts on their website, here are the entrants and finalists to the contest, and we're among that universe, and it's Grauben Lara. And hopefully, if they want to, they could list me too, and I could provide them the links to the different podcast episodes of Raff's Brain where we've talked about the innovation, because we talked about that product before we made it, right?
Yeah.
So I could share with them the 3 episodes, and then the audience might get interested in Raff's Brain. Although, let's be honest, most of what I talk about is not on this type of topic. It's all varied, and it's more like if you're interested in this zany world of Rob Raffety, then you listen to Raff's Brain. So that's going to be a pretty small and niche audience, but whatever, it is what it is. So it's going to be cool, man. I'm excited. What else? That's about it. I think coming out of this conversation, I feel pretty good. Next time we discuss or interview will be
hopefully $10,000
$10,000 richer, yes, after tax or before taxes, so
we'll see. But no, it is exciting because it's like I think we're at a point where it's like, what are the possibilities? Like, what could happen, and we don't really know.
Yeah.
But like a lot could happen, right?
That's right.
This could be like a hit. It could be a flop. I mean, who knows? But we won't know unless we like actually start doing it.
Great takeaway message for this audience: take action. Don't just think through, plan, strategize, and intend. And game plan what's going to be the biggest thing in the world. It's nothing until you actually get started. So we're very much leaning into our action bias here. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Next time, it's going to have some exciting updates in the project. Until then, take it easy. See you later. Bye-bye.